guy who is about to set the premise for what you're about to hear. H. Bernard Hall. Beautiful people, good morning.
Good morning.
It's truly a pleasure to be in the company of such good people here for such a great reason. And it's truly been a pleasure to work with these young men over the last, and these not so young men, for the last 6-7 months or so. And what we have been doing in an attempt to accomplish the goals that Embody represents and symbolizes, we have attempted to remix the educational experience. And when I say I use the word remix because it is a term that directly points to hip-hop culture. And what we have done is we have used questions like, what is culture, right? What is culture? I should ask them, everybody. What is culture? What is culture?
Way of life.
The way of life, right? How one lives, right? How one stirs the pot. I'm thinking about all the compliments my granny used to give about her putting her foot in that pot, right? Again, a way of life that speaks to that particular reference, right? And as a scholar and an activist, much of my work, academic and public work, deals with, again, reimagining spaces that have been hostile to young people who look a little bit like myself and these beautiful young men right here. Mm-hmm. And we have done it by reimagining, questioning, what is culture, what is a way of life, what counts and what doesn't. We have gotten more specifically in asking the question of what is hip-hop, right? Again, terms that are thrown around like rice at a wedding, right? But to understand that a culture, a way of life, has some very specific historical and structural origins that may or may not be common knowledge to, especially a kid born in 1994. So what we have done is we've had some specific things. Again, what is culture? What is hip hop? We've done these are the 4 core elements of hip hop, which are, brothers.
Graffiti, breakdancing,
and breakdancing. So to summarize that, right? MCing, DJing, breakdancing, and graffiti, right? Those are the core elements of hip hop. And what I asked them to do was to create a poem, right? A rap, right? And we problematize what is the difference between a poem and a rap, right? Largely for people who value it and get to determine what counts and what doesn't. So and we're changing that, right? So they could write a poem, they could write a rap, they could do a PowerPoint presentation, they could construct a more general piece of prose. You're going to hear some general direct commentary as well. Right? And again, all speaking in an effort to reflect the type of learning and teaching that's going on here for the last 6-7 months. So, as a mentor, as a teacher, I like to practice what I preach. So, if you don't mind, I like to just share a piece with you to kind of help break the ice and get the ball rolling. And this piece is called Criminology 101. Ology, what's that mean?
the study of
The study of. So, the poem is about to be the study of criminals, right? Right? And this poem came to me as an undergraduate. I'm not going to say how long ago that was. But I was sitting in a lecture hall listening to this elderly white man with a bunch of letters behind his name tell me what crime is and what isn't. And as I blanked out in that lecture, which I don't advise any of you to do, I began creating my own lecture, and it goes something like this. Today, I conjectured a lecture on criminal theory. Before we get started, can everybody hear me clearly?
Yes.
Pay attention and listen. Ain't no sleeping or drifting, because if I catch you slipping, then you're catching detention. This lawsuit's a class action of a political fashion. If they get taxes and trapping us Latins and Africans, the traffic and trade routes they spent years establishing. But when I cry conspiracy, I'm disorderly fashion. They lock us up, take the credit, take the profits, wash it and lawn, and recycle to their pockets so their daughters can squander it. Ronald Reagan, the epitome of crook. It took 8 years and 2 George Bush for you realize it was on the took. Take it. Whether bought out or sold out, no doubt lies come out their mouths like water out of a spout. Pipe down. I know in this town the mayor's brown, but he blends in with the rest of them clowns behind his vows. Hell no. Taking me as an ignorant Negro is the faux got more knowledge on worldly topics than Tom Brokaw. The revolution you can't stop on its thought. And even then it's too late. Your ignorance will be your downfall. I'm codependent on non-codependents. Prohibited from coexistence in this codependence. It leaves us in a cold blizzard, freezing and blisters, and no coat to shield us. enlisted in a cold trade of fall where the have-nots, armed with black locks and dreadlocks, proud to have lots of everything they got. From the belly of the beast, an interview with a booze who called disturbing, worthy, how they don't have a clue on true criminology. Contemporarily, brutality wears a badge, and these cowards hide behind it like a mask. This ain't no Halloween. America's dream is seldom seen, certainly urban teens dream. But they rudely awakened by the sound of gun claps and sirens, those fiends, murderers, and burglars, and the proverbial master ceremony, testimony, all the rule at high decibels. Refer to your syllabus, read the next 3 chapters plus. I hope you took those. Instruct your own piece. Class dismissed. Y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to go? So, here you're going to see a whole host and range of talent. Oh, thank you. You're going to see a whole range and a host of different talents in the judges, right? The one thing that we have reminded them, right, that we're looking for A efforts, right? And that we have a beautiful crowd of welcome family and friends that are going to pick them up when they fall. We're definitely going to hold them up when they fly in as well. You should also know that part of our conversation, we have been in largely a male-only space for the last 6 to 7 months, right? We have had conversations on our terms, guided by various discussions of various fields, right? But we have had conversations about us, about this country, about this school even, on our own terms, right? That being said, each and every one of these pieces has been vetted. And what we have been consistent on, right? As a poet, as a teacher, as an academic, I refuse to censor a young man, especially in a school or in buildings or institutions that make profit from doing so. So, that being said, you may hear a curse word. You should understand that we have had very thorough conversations about the difference between cursing out of ignorance and cursing out of emphasis or empathy. Right? So, again, I think you're going to enjoy, you're going to see very clearly the type of learning and type of teaching that's going on. So, I'm going to be quiet. They know that's harder for me to do than you imagine. And the first volunteer, I believe is going to be my man, Rob P.